This franchise, like any other, would not be complete without video games. In fact, there was a whole series of video games based on this cult TV show. Now, none of these games are considered canon in the Buffyverse, but great lengths have been taken by the developers of each of these games to slot them into this series in a way that seems plausible. The first game in this series was universally hated by the critics and given a score of 2.0 by IGN, and they said, "Forget the vampires, this game sucks." Sure, this game wasn't perfect, but it certainly wasn't the worst game in this series. Normally time isn't kind to video games, and what starts out as a good game gets eroded by time until it becomes unplayable by today's standards. Sure, there are exceptions to these rules, and some games age like fine wine. However, Buffy the Vampire Slayer for the Game Boy Color started off life being hated, so is this game still bad, or has time been kind to it? Well, let's find out. This game is set during season 4 of the TV show and starts off with Buffy trying to enjoy a week off from college. Those plans are soon thrown out the window when the town of Sunnydale is invaded by several vampire coverts from around the world. It's up to Buffy to slay this new evil and expose the evil mastermind behind it. The story isn't anything special, but at least it does try to set up the game, and the dialogue of Buffy and the Scoobies between each level wouldn't be out of place in the TV show itself. Do we play these games for the story? No. Although it is nice to play a game in the theme of your favourite TV show, but in these types of games that's normally about as far as the story goes, so let's move on to the gameplay. This game consists of 9 levels, with every other level involving a boss fight. The goal is to slay the vampires and make it to the end of each level. To take down those vampires, you need to reduce their green bar first, and once you've done that, get them to the ground with a sweep kick to finally stake them. How you weaken them is by using a combination of kicks, punches and flips. There are also items in each of these levels that you can pick up to throw at the bad guys, and you can also defend yourself by pushing away from them. Once a vampire is down, he or she can't get up until the green bar has filled up. In the beginning, their recharge time is very slow, so you don't need to inflict much damage on a vampire before trying to stake them. Later in the game, their green bar recharges at a much faster rate, so it's really a judgment call throughout this game on how much you need to weaken the vampires by to give you the time you need to stake them. You never face any more than one vampire at a time, which is a good design choice considering the limited Game Boy Color screen size. Like the vamps, you also have a green bar, and once it's depleted or you're knocked to the ground, the vamps start to feed on you. This drains your red life bar, so press any button as quick as you can to fill up your green bar to get back in the fight. To help you out in a fight, you have 2 power-ups, green cans and coke cans. The green cans fill up your green bar, and the coke cans allow you to do a special move. To pull off a special move is real simple, just double tap right or left and then press punch or kick. These moves are so powerful that you can knock a vamp right to the ground. So make sure you save at least 1 coke can for the boss fight and use them all up before the level ends, as they do not carry over to the next one, which is a bummer. Overall, the combat is easy to pick up with some depth to it, and the variety of enemy vampires means you'll have to keep switching up your tactics to get the upper hand, and this keeps the gameplay fresh and enjoyable. Also, just in case you were wondering while I was rolling around all the time, it's because Buffy walks very slowly, and rolling around is a much faster way to get about. Sure, a run option would be handy, but rolling around does the same thing. This game's soundtrack is a mixed bag. While it does a great job of creating tension and atmosphere, the lack of a good melody means this soundtrack will never be anything more than just decent background music. But enough about this game. What about the other titles in the Buffy the Vampire Slayer video game series? At the beginning of this video, I said this wasn't the worst game in the Buffy the Vampire Slayer video game series. That honour belongs to every other mobile outing, which is Wrath of the Dragu King for the GBA, The Quest for Oz for mobile, and finally Sacrifice for the Nintendo DS. Each of these games are terrible. They have tedious controls, pointless game mechanics, and are just simply not fun to play. On a side note, Buffy for Xbox and Buffy Chaos Bleeds for various platforms are both solid games that still hold up. So, my final thoughts. When this game came out, it was painfully average and deserved every bad review it got. It certainly wasn't worth the full retail price, but now that you can buy this game dead cheap, time has flipped things, and I really can't find any faults with this game that would make me not want to recommend it. Sure, there's nothing about this game that exceeds in any area, but it's passable just with everything it does, and I had fun playing this game, and at the end of the day, that is what matters. So, I give Buffy the Vampire Slayer on the Game Boy Color my thumb approval. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time.